Out, shoulder width apart. What we'll do today, I just want to slow some of the movements down today a little bit and focus maybe a little bit more on the biomechanics. Just notice what's going on with the rib cage and with the spine. But we'll start off with our spinal cord breathing actually. So we take our feet about shoulder width apart. Bend in the knees. This is a little bit more of a bend in the knees than just soft knees, and we keep those knees low so we get that movement in the pelvis, so we get that tilt forwards and backwards in the pelvis. And as we tilt the pelvis forward so that we spill out the front of the pelvis, we bring those elbows back and expand the chest, lift the sternum towards the sky, just breathing in naturally in through the nose. And then we curl up, keeping the knees bent. So you might want to come up to standing when we curl up or anything like that. So just make sure you keep the knees bent. And then again, keep the knees bent. Breathe in, breathe out. As you extend, keep those knees bent. We don't move the lower body position apart from tilting the pelvis. Breathing in, all the breath is just in and out through the nose. And notice any areas of tightness. Any differences maybe side to side. Also where you are taking the visual when you're looking above. So again, if the head's slightly twisted, you can be looking to one side. So just pay attention to where you are lifting and looking above. So we'll work on our usual mobilization today and then just slow some of the flow movements down so we can pay that little bit more attention onto the biomechanics, what's moving within the body. On the next in-breath, just rotate and open up over one side. And then as you breathe out, come back down the center. And then opposite side. Notice the weight shift as well, whether you maybe put a little bit more weight on the side of the leg that you are rotating towards. Let's do one more each side. And then pushing through the heels, coming up to standing. You might just want to shake your legs out a little bit because we've been in that lower position. Have a little walk around if you need to walk around. Grab a drink if you need a drink. And then we'll go into knocking. We're going to do two versions of the knocking this morning. Feet shoulder width apart. Normal one. Or the first one, the usual one that we do. So the weight is evenly distributed. So just be aware of your feet in contact with the ground. And that little bit of using the ground, so you push through into the ground to create that rotation. So that that energy, that power comes up from the ground through the leg into the hip. And then that upper body is nice and relaxed. Spine is strong and long, but the shoulders are relaxed, arms are relaxed. We have a little bit of softness in the knee here, just so that we're not locking the knee out when we create that spiral. So if anybody wants to demonstrate a spiral in our April challenge, do this one as well. This is spiraling. Breathing is just easy in and out through the nose. And a nice way to slow it down into water waves is to do a full breath in through the nose. So really fill the lungs up, breathe in through the nose, and then slow breath out. And as you slow that breath out, slow the movement down with the breath. That can be out through the mouth if you wanted. Really slow it down into water waves. And it's almost like you're watching a slow motion version of the knocking, but without the arms tapping or hitting the body. So really think of slow motion. Feel the air as it glides through the fingers. And over the skin. The slower you do it, the more you can tune into that sensation. And feel the slowness of the movement and the softness of the air, if you like, as it runs through the fingers. And then bring your attention to the nostrils. And keeping that very light, easy breathing in and out through the nose. It's the same sort of sensation. The slower you go, the easier you go, the more you can just feel that physical sensation. So just sense that slightly cooler air coming in through the nose and slightly warmer leaving. Relaxing the shoulders. And then slowing down to a stop. I like that. I like the softness of the air that you feel on the fingers, and then just bring that attention to the nostrils. So again, what we don't want to be doing is going pulling air in, drawing air in, or trying too hard to breathe. Just let things happen. Going to do another knocking one now. Same thing, but this time we just get that little bit of a shift of the weight. So the opposite heel comes off the ground. So you shift the weight to the side that you're rotating to, but you just free up the heel off the ground. And again, this is another good one to focus on that spiral movement, particularly through the leg. So you feel that rotation in the ankle, the knee and the hip. Breathing easy. And with this one, we're just going to bring that front arm just to tap on the lung point. So just on the chest, just below the sternum, just a light tap. And here, this is where it's quite nice just to take maybe a few fuller breaths in and let that breath out. Bit of cleansing and clearing. Remembering those cleansing and clearing breaths. You take a nice, slow, full breath in and just release, let go of any tightness and tension on that breath out. So the breath out is just let go and relax. It's not necessarily controlled breath out. And if you're using a sound, it tends to be a little bit longer. And that sound can mean or sense, you can feel different things with that sound. If it's like a nice wake up in the morning, it can be a nice sigh, or it can be a just let go, whatever you feel you need. Still swapping side to side. Good, and then slow it down, come back to water waves. And water waves now, we just balanced evenly on both feet. We're not swapping or shifting our weight here. And then stop and come to a stand. And let's have a little bit of a shake. So you can just keep your feet flat on the floor, or if you want a little bit more vibration going through the heels and the legs and the bones, you can tap the heels into the floor. Really just let the shoulders go. Let the arms, you can bring the wrists into it so you can get the arms shaking, head shaking a little bit. Again, this is where you can use, if you feel you need to, any cleansing and clearing breaths. Good old shake. And slow it down, slow it down, slow it down. And then standing for a moment, just stand. Feel those tingling sensations. The more you do the shaking, the more you do the warm-up, the more you tend to practice the Qigong regularly, the more the tingling sensation you're feeling in more parts of the body. So visualize that as blood flowing, energy flowing through the body, through the bones, ligaments, tendons, muscles, organs. Good. And then let's focus a little bit now on the flow movements and really break a couple of those flow movements down just to notice what's going on in the rib cage and in the spine. So really focusing on the biomechanics, because quite often we get tight in the rib cage, tight in the spine. So we create one of these movements, but we might be moving the whole body as a block. So we want to feel where we might notice any tightness or tension, or where we can give a little bit more perhaps. So I want you to visualize the rib cage very much as the elasticity of that rib cage. Because if you think through, between each of the ribs, you have tissue, you have muscle, you have fascia, you have those intercostal muscles. So the rib cage and the upper body isn't a block. It moves, there's a freedom of movement within that block. So let's start off with the soaring crane. So this is one that we know comfortably. So palms facing the ground. Now really just check out where your center of gravity is. So watch that your hips aren't too far forwards or too far backwards. So really find your balance in this position where you can be tall through the crown, where you can relax the shoulders down, and where we're not tilting this rib cage too far forwards and backwards. So when we practice that 5 elements flow, a lot of the standing postures, this is what the standing postures are for it. So you can really subtly adjust the body so that you are aligned optimally to gravity. So palms facing down. Now just very, very slowly, just go really slowly. Just notice what's going on in the spine and in your rib cage. Just breathe easy in and out through the nose. It doesn't have to be one long breath at the moment. So we're not really focusing on the breath at the moment. Till your arms come out to the side. And then that little bit of rotation. Now rotation is coming from the shoulder. It's easy to rotate the palm, but see if you can rotate from the shoulder so that the palms are facing up. And then connect thumb and forefinger. Now just notice what happens when you do that little connection of the thumb and the forefinger. Maybe take them apart again. And then just notice what happens when you connect. What do you feel going through the arms? And then bring them slowly. So this is like doing a slow squat, but with a simple arm movement. You really, really feel it. And then disconnect and palms face the ground again. And then just give your arms a little bit of a rest. So even just doing that really slowly can be quite challenging, but you can really feel where you can let go, where you can relax the shoulders, what's happening with the rib cage, what's happening with the spine. Let's do that again. But this time, bring awareness to the spine. So think about what is happening as you extend the arms out to the side with your spine. So get that idea, that little sense of your spine wave going on. So you've got your palms facing to the ground. Focus on the spine. Slowly. Keeping the shoulders down. And then rotate the shoulders, the elbows, the wrists. There's your little bit of a spiral going on. Really slowly connect the fingers. And then slowly bring palms facing down. And then give your arms a rest. And then just breathe easy. So we'll add the moves 3 and 4 to that one, but we'll just go from 3 to 4. So just bring the palms up. And then the next move is you're bringing the palms towards the chest. And notice again what goes on now with your center of gravity. So what happens with the upper, what happens with the lower body? And then spiral, so shoulders, elbows, wrists, and then push away. And then palms back down. So that goes to the start position. And then just rest your arms down for a minute. So again, when you're doing that pulling in, we've done a pull challenge, we've done a push challenge. When you're doing that pulling in, what happens? So it's almost like you lengthen the spine up. And as you push away, there's that softness, that little bit of a contraction, if you like, in the spine. So really feel those movements as we're going through those 4 moves. Let's just do let's do the 3 and 4 move just one more time. So palms up. And then really slowly go as slow as you can. Just breathe normally, so you don't have to do a long, slow breath. We'll bring the breath with it in a moment. Notice what's going on in the spine, in the ribs. and then rotate. So there's your spiral, and push away. What happens with that weight shift? And then palms back down, and then just give your arms a rest. Nice. Shake out, and then we'll put those 4 moves together really, really slowly. Just breathe easy in and out through the nose, and just tune in spine, rib cage, just what you notice. Center of gravity, so you'll feel that little bit of weight shift, heels, balls of the feet. If we start to feel, particularly with some of these Qigong moves, when we're in this standing position, if you start to feel it in your hips and your lower back, quite often it's 1, getting used to spending that much of time standing, but 2, it's quite often just because we lock everything down. So the more you can open up the flow in that standing posture with the lower body, the less stress it's putting on the lower back and on the hips and on the legs. So let's go shoulder width apart, bringing the arms up. Just spend a moment there, relaxing the shoulders down, just tune into your balance, where you are in line with gravity. And then just breathing naturally and easy in and out through the nose, really slowly. Really, really slowly. Notice what happens with the ribs, the spine, the shoulder blades. And the palms are still facing the ground here. And then rotate shoulder, elbow, wrist. There's your spiral. Palms facing the sky. Relax the palms. Just open up the fingers a little bit. And then connect thumb and forefinger. Slowly, smoothly. And when you get to the center spiral, palms facing the ground, shoulders relaxed, a little bit of bend in the elbows, softness in the elbows. Towards the chest, go really slowly. You almost want to be feeling the bamboo in the wind sensation of that rock and sway very subtly, very, very subtly. And then spiral. What happens with the shoulders? Push away. And then palms facing the ground. And take a little bit of a rest. Have a walk around if you need to walk around. And then we'll go through that with the breath now. So we'll just do it at our normal, comfortable pace with the breath guiding the movement. So I just wanted to go through it and break it down so you could really tune into those subtleties of what's going on in the body. So now you've felt those subtleties, have that in mind when you're doing the movement with the breath. So palms facing up. And then we breathe in. And spiral, connect and breathe out. And then breathe in. And breathe out. Breath in. Out. And once you get into the flow, go at your own comfortable pace. But I really want you to tune in and get that sense of it's the breath that's creating the movement. As you breathe in, there's that expansion. As you breathe out, softness. Just do one more in your own time. And then arms by the side. And pulling down the sky or pulling down the heavens. A subtle difference maybe to how we've done it before is your palms are still facing the ground as your arms come up. So slowly coming up. So it's almost like you're pulling energy from the ground. And then when you get to about shoulder height, rotate, do your little bit of spiral, elbows start to bend. And then you're coming down that midline. So pay attention to the forehead, the throat, the heart center, and the belly. So it's like you're drawing energy from the ground, and then you're drawing energy from the universe, the sky, the heavens, the ceiling, down through head, throat, heart, belly. Breathing in, and then centering as you breathe out. Breathing in, and centering. I think there's a very subtle difference with an out breath through the nose, because we know if you use an out breath through the mouth, it's like clearing and cleansing. Now, an out breath through the nose obviously is clearing or losing CO2 or getting rid of CO2, but it's also very concentrating and almost like centering energy. So it's building energy in the body. It's a nice visualization to think of that. So if you're running and you're breathing nasally, then you are containing energy as you breathe out. So you're not getting rid of excess CO2. But if you need to, if you're going to a little bit more like an interval session, then when you need to just blow off that little bit of excess CO2, then you do a cleansing and clearing breath. So really think of gathering energy on that exhale here. And placing the focus on your center, bringing the feet together. Just closing your eyes for the next few seconds. allowing the body to rock and sway, spiral. And then when you're ready, taking a full breath in through the nose, and at the top of that breath, opening your eyes, stepping out, giving yourself a little bit of a rub down, brush down the arms, down the legs, and the belly. Nice! Hopefully that set you up a little bit for your Tuesday morning, and I will see you hopefully on Thursday for our movement session. We do a little bit more spiraling, a little bit more strength work on Thursday. Thanks for joining. Have a great day, and I'll see you during the week. Bye.
Thanks. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.